This gorgeous hand-painted skirt is so much more than meets the eye, and I'm going to tell you how I made it because I'm the artist. It all started when I saw this video on TikTok saying that if you mix conditioner with paint, it'll create fabric paint. And my mother had given me a skirt that looked like a blank canvas. It actually had a few little oil spots on it from when some grease or something had gotten on it, and I thought it would be the perfect skirt to paint on, and it would hide those grease spots with no problem. And I realized that it was a thin fabric. It's kind of like canvas, and so I put a notepad underneath, like a thick sketchbook, so that the paint wouldn't seep through the fabric and actually get the other side of the skirt damaged. So here I am, loosely and quickly putting these shapes on the skirt, and I'm actually looking at a reference. You can see that it's only about halfway done now, and so I moved the notepad up that's underneath the skirt and just kept going. And so you can see the little reference over there on the right hand side. And so this part was really fun, like painting the flower on the pockets, and I decided to make these eyelashes on this eye painted in, and that deviated from the original sketch slightly, but I really enjoyed making it my own. And so you can see it is finished here and looking pretty good. This was the time when I shared it on my video and asked, should I paint the back of it too or leave the back blank, and should I paint it in? And a majority said paint it. And so here I am, a few days later, taking a moment to add some color. And this was a auspicious day. It was August 3rd, which is my grandmother's heavenly birthday. And I had been really missing her, and I decided to light a candle for her, and I poured her a shot of some Martell on my ancestor shrine. And I have been coughing and having some issues with my throat, so I started to eat a Now and Later because I ran out of cough drops, and I could just hear my grandmother. She was like, let me get one of them Now and Laters, you know. So I put one on the shrine as well, and I felt her presence. And it was when I started to remember that she was a low-key fashion designer. She spent a lot of time at home by herself, and she would get to sketching in these notebooks different fashion designs that she thought was sharp, like she used to say. But it would be, you know, women with nice curvy figures wearing short dresses and tight pants and high heel shoes, and you know, it looked a little hoochie mama to me, but I could see her vision. You know, she would often just use a ballpoint pen, a blue one, or a pencil to draw that, and it really showed me that she made use of her time for creativity. And that was an inspiring moment as I painted this skirt, and I could hear her saying, ooh, yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful. And, you know, just being able to hear her in my mind brought me back to a lot of conversations that we would have, and we would get deep, and we would really talk about what was going on in my life. And she was someone who was always supportive of that. And fast forward to today, I have started making my own oracle cards deck, and I'm an illustrator, and I've been interpreting my own artwork for the oracle cards. And the one that I was using for this design for my skirt, I decided to call it Witnessed by Ancestors. And that's what all of these different eyeballs represent, are my ancestors who have been looking out for me all this time and witnessing my journey and just seeing how far that I've come. There have been many times when I was alone, but felt the presence of my grandmother's great-grandmother who passed away and are now ancestors. And I really feel like that is what I was painting into this skirt, the ancestral wisdom and guidance. And so when I wear this skirt, it will be proudly representing all those who came before me, who would tap into their creativity, who would support mine, who would check in with me every day. I still feel them checking in with me each and every day, especially my great-grandmother who was born on October 18th, and that's 10/18. And so there's not a day that goes by that I don't see 10/18 on the clock at some point in the day. And whenever I see that, I just say, "Hey, Big Ma, how are you? I see you, I feel you." And it's our daily check-in. And so birthdays are a way that my angels check in with me, or when I feel their presence, when it's their heavenly birthday, or when their birthday represents an angel number. And so, anywho, I really enjoyed creating gradients with the paints. This color palette also feels very bright and natural and summery, and so I think it really works well with the flowers and with that cream background that the skirt had. And so I was adding more gradients to the eye, and here is a close-up of how I was doing that. It's a dry brush technique where you start with a wet brush in the corner, but you keep brushing it on until the brush kind of gets dry, and then that's when you can create a gradient effect. And so it looks really cool on these eyelids here, and I decided that I would carry it through even with the orange. I also came in with black to create a realistic looking eyeball, like it has pupils. And then this right here is a finishing touch where I used the back of my brush to dip it into the white paint, and then I was able to make a reflective dot like the light is shining on these eyes, and it really brought it to life. And I just love it. Oh my god, I cannot with this skirt. Like, I want to paint everything now. I'm not even kidding, but I won't. And I can just hear Granny right now being like, "Hey, now, you better work." She wouldn't say you better work, but I am working this skirt, y'all. Look at me. Wow. And I just love how the whole thing is such a vibe. All the bright colors, and I put a bright green highlighter shirt with it, and the beads, and I even tied the knot to style the shirt with it, and I adore. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and leave a comment.